Well, good morning. Thanks for joining us for another Firm Foundation podcast here at Foundations for Living. And I wanted to give you updates today on everything that's going on here at the center. And certainly thank you for watching. You can comment at any given time if you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Facebook, on our Facebook page. You can comment. I will get to your comments, your questions that you might have. In fact, I can even put them right up on the screen. So certainly at any point, if you have questions regarding our podcast or what I'm talking about, love to hear from you. So obviously I'll see your name, but let me know where you're watching from, city, state, whatever the case may be, so that we can have a little bit of a conversation here. So we've had a lot going on here at the center. And, the fact is there's a lot of people that will be watching this later. So if you do have a question or comment, you can feel free to do so. And I will get back to you, not during the live show, obviously, but certainly when we are able to do that on the rebroadcast of these podcasts. You can always listen to just the audio version of these by going to our website, fflwapaka.org, and right on the homepage is where the audio will be posted as well. So we have had a lot going on here. The big thing that we have going currently is our warming center. That started on November 1st, and the first night we had a few people here. So we have currently, last night we had 3 people here staying, and so this is our program where homeless folks can come in between 7 and 8 p.m. any given night and check in and be a part of the program. We provide a warm meal, we provide bedding, shower facilities, restroom, all of that stuff. So that's been a really good program for us over the last few years, and certainly it's one of our biggest programs that we run here at the center. One of the thing that sets this program apart is that it really strongly is run by volunteers, and we are so thankful for our volunteers that make this happen. The way it works is 6:30 they arrive, between 7 and 8 p.m. the folks are welcome to come in, our guests, and as long as they abide by the rules, stick to the program, they are welcome to stay as long as they need to. It does end on April 30th, but that is a long ways off, and we have a long, brutal winter ahead of us. Next week, if you've seen the forecast, it's not looking good. And so we'll be in the 30s for highs. And so we expect and anticipate the census to go up quite a bit here in our center because this is a time where, in the nicer nights, people aren't afraid to sleep in their cars or whatever. But once that cold weather hits, that's when we see the influx of people coming in. So if you want to volunteer, you can go to our website, which I'll put up on the screen here, fflwapaka.org, fill out a volunteer form, and Michael Hall, our assistant director, our program director, Jill Polifka, will get back in touch with you. And Jill oversees the program. Michael meets with all the volunteers, gets you trained. It's really not as scary as you think. It's really not as hard as you think. And honestly, it doesn't take up much time at all. So it's certainly one thing that we are really wanting to involve people in. And so we're dealing with robots today on our live feed. So forgive us for that. I'm trying to curtail that as we get going here on this broadcast. It's not as hard as you think. It really is just the best way I can describe the warming center. There's 2 shifts, 6:30 till 9. That is our intake hosts. And these are people that welcome them in, check them in, and then make sure that their needs are met, that they have a warm meal. The other day, there's a group in Wapaka called the Soup Ladies, and they make soups, chilies, all sorts of things. And they brought the meal in, and the folks were so thankful for that. I think of one guy in particular that had 3 helpings of the meal because it was so good. And so, when you're part of this program, you make sure they have a warm meal. And then the rest of the night, the best way I can describe it is just making it into a living room. They can watch TV, they can kick back, they can read, whatever they want to do. And then 9 o'clock is when the warming center intake hosts go home. The overnight chaperone comes in, and they stay the night with the folks. And so Whether you want to volunteer as a warming center intake host or a warming center overnight chaperone, we have opportunities for you to get involved. So the program is off to a good start. We can always use volunteers. We're currently looking for more volunteers to fill the gaps in our schedule. And so certainly if you've volunteered in the past, please sign up and help us out here as we launch this season. But if you're new, you're watching this thinking, I could give a few hours of my time, then we would love for you to get to know you as well. And so we are really thankful for everybody that kicks in and makes this a good evening for these folks, because, you know, the fact is, a lot of us, we know what homelessness is. We've heard of it. We've seen it. I myself, I'm from Milwaukee originally. I've seen it all over the place there. But a lot of us, we may not be familiar with it, in that worst case scenario, one of us has to go homeless. We usually have a relative or somebody that we can be with that would take us in. The folks that are here, they don't have that. They don't have a safety net here. And so that's why they're here, so that they can find refuge here at Foundations for Living, so they don't have to sleep in a park or their car on a freezing cold night or anything like that. And so we're, again, looking for volunteers to get involved. If that's you, by all means, go to our website, volunteer, give us a call, or just stop in, meet with Michael or Jill or myself. I'll give you a tour of the place, and you can see where you would like to fit into our program. The other cool thing that we had going on, we formed a partnership with the Community Clothes Closet of the Fox Valley. You can go to our Facebook page, which a lot of you that are watching might be on, and just scroll back a few days. You'll see pictures from our first event with the Community Clothes Closet. This is a really cool operation. They come in with a truck, a big box truck, and it's converted into a rolling store. Their stickers, they completely wrap the vehicle with their promotional material and who they are. And a group of volunteers shows up, and we set up store. The next one will be on January, I think, the 5th. And this last time, people got to pre-register, and many brand new winter jackets were given out, boots, hats, gloves, underwear, socks, and shirts, t-shirts, jeans, whatever the case was that they needed. And they went home with their needs met. It was a very good program, a very solid start to our partnership with the Community Clothes Closet. And so if you're looking for another volunteer opportunity, call and ask us about this. You can ask Jill, and she will get you involved with that on a volunteer basis. If you're watching this and you're thinking, I could benefit from that, they are coming back again in January, as I mentioned. This next trip will be a general shopping event. So yes, you need to pre-register and get on our books so that we can have you here for this. But they'll be setting up their store throughout our location here, because the weather will be nasty on January 5th. And so you can pick out supplies that you need. It's really a fantastic program. There is no cost to it. All we ask is, again, that you call and talk to Jill and get registered for this event. They were here. They showed up at about 3:30, 3:45. We set up, and then that's when the doors opened then for people to come in about 5 o'clock. And we just went for an hour and a half, and it was a fantastic time. There's a couple perks with this program. If you're a person needing these supplies, they get you registered into their program, and then if you're able to find a trip at any given time to go to Appleton, the Appleton area, they have an actual location where they stock so many of the items that are needed. And all you do is present your card that they give you, and you are free to shop in that area as well. Again, there's no cost to it. It's outreach of this program, and they have chosen to partner with us because we're a Wapaka location that shares the same vision as them. And really, it has become a neat thing. I was thoroughly impressed with the how well it was ran. And so they bring the clothing racks off the truck. They park the truck right next to the building. So anything that's not on the racks, you can go up into the truck and shop the racks and get what you need. So yeah, warming shelter and the community clothes closet, very cool programs. Again, if you are looking for volunteer opportunities, you can do that. If you're in need of either of these programs, you can certainly do that. Now, let's go on to the gala here. The gala is happening this Saturday night at 5 o'clock at the Danes Hall of Wapaka. Beautiful venue. It's going to serve our purposes well here. And we currently have 115 people signed up for this event. Fantastic turnout. Thank you to the community that has wanted to come and hear about our next steps as a program. We have some very exciting things to announce at this gala event. We'll announce it there, and then we'll make it known to the community. I will be speaking and addressing the Rotary Club of Wapaka on that Wednesday. I believe it's the 15th. And so there's a lot of exciting news to share regarding our next steps as a center. Regarding what we're going to be doing to expand what we're doing as a program here. So at the gala event, there will be live music and brought on by the Tabula Nova Ensemble. And so they're a group out of the Milwaukee area that is a classic quartet, or actually trio. There's a classical guitarist, a flute player, and a clarinet. They'll be providing the music. The meal will be catered. It's going to be a full Thanksgiving-style meal with a second meat option of meatballs and mushroom gravy. And then the desserts will be provided by a somewhat newer bakery here in Wapaka called Three Angels Bakery. They're located on North Main Street, and they'll be bringing cupcakes and cookies to the event. It's just going to be a fantastic time. Now, if you're watching this and you're signed up for it, don't forget, if you bring canned goods, non-perishables to this event, that'll be your ticket into our door prize drawing. And we have some really cool gifts that are going to be given out during the door prizes. But this is going to be a little different this year in that it's not going to be so much a basket silent auction sort of fundraising event. That'll happen in our spring event. But this is going to be very informative of what's going on. I'm very happy to announce that the author of It's a New Day curriculum is going to be there as our guest speaker, Lori Gannier. She comes to us from the Milwaukee area. She's been a long time and dear friend of mine. I got to know her back in the mid-'90s when I entered schooling to become a pastor. And we served together on many inner city missions trips in the Milwaukee area. And in fact, she was even there when I met my wife. So we have a good friendship, and looking forward to her sharing some words about that. After she's done speaking, then we will talk about the plans for Foundations for Living. We've been working hard with the city, zoning, permits, everything to get everything lined up so that you know and you can rest assured your funding is going to go to a cause that all the bases are covered. So we're really excited about that, and would encourage you to listen. If you're not going to be at the event, follow us on Facebook so that you can hear about everything that's coming up. Next Wednesday, I will be sharing, as I said, at Rotary, but I will also be sharing here on Facebook the same presentation as I gave at Rotary, so that you know and what is going on with the future plans. We're making it a little special. I'm not going to lie. We're making it a little special so that those at the gala will be first to know what is going to be coming up for Foundations for Living. So there's a lot of things going on here. We're very excited about everything that's been happening. I work with a fantastic team. Obviously, there's our staff here. Val, our office manager, she's keeping up. I'm kind of a go-getter, and so there's a lot of things going on here with Val, and we're so appreciative of her services. Michael, our assistant director, he is doing a phenomenal job keeping us in line with IT and everything that goes into running a center, and soon that will be expanded. So there's going to be a lot more on his plate as well. Jill, our program director, she is a point and shoot kind of person. There's something to be done. We send her in that direction. It gets done. And Jane, managing our thrift store, doing a fantastic job there as well. One of the questions we have been asked is is how does the community clothes closet affect the thrift store? Well, it really doesn't, because the community clothes closet comes in after the thrift store is closed. And with the community clothes closet, we're able to work with social workers at the schools and other places to get families what they need. And again, 90% of it is brand new. And so that's been a really good thing for us to see and be a part of for this sort of outreach that we have going on here. So that has been a really good thing for us. So Vito Grissetta, he said, awesome. Yeah, it is awesome. And I'm glad that you guys are going to be at the gala. Vito and his wife, Debbie, won tickets to the gala from one of these podcasts quite a while ago, a few weeks ago. And so they're going to be in attendance there. And we're so thankful for that. And so, yeah, we have warming center season going on. We have the community clothes closet going on. We have the gala coming up to make the big announcement of what's happening. And you may have noticed we're not asking for food anymore because our pantry is full all the time. And so are our freezers, and so our refrigerator, and which is a big refrigerator. If you haven't stopped in, just stop in and say, Bob, I want to look at this fridge. It's amazing. It's a 2-door stainless steel commercial size fridge. And it's because we formed a partnership with Feed America. Feed America functions out of the Fox Valley area. And we've known them through Foundations for Living as big events. Okay. So if you remember, our former director, Wilma, would head up an event and really did a fantastic job with it, where they would set up in the parking lot at Trinity Methodist Church, First United Methodist Church. I'm sorry, I'm getting Trinity Lutheran, First United Methodist Church mixed up. But First United Methodist, and they would give out boxes of food. Well, Feed America also has a program where they help us, help foundations, help areas like ours stay well stocked. And I was able to go through the paperwork and get that set up. So every Thursday we pick up food to keep in our shelter here for folks that are in need. So people that need help with food, we are able to, have everything on hand. I can think of a few things right now that we have an abundance of. We have tuna, which there's a lot of it in the cans. We have a lot of mac and cheese. We have a lot of oatmeal packets, not the big canisters where you got to measure out, but you just add water and go. It makes a fantastic breakfast. We also have an abundance of ground beef in our freezer, an abundance of marinated chicken legs prepackaged in our freezer. And soon this week, we're going to be getting even more. And so it's just so good to see God's provision on this place and doors that he's been opening for us to stay well stocked on a lot of things. Chicken noodle soup, on and on it goes of what we have. We even have queso spread for those of you that like chips and queso and everything. It's just a fantastic array. We used to operate out of a little closet here in the warming center and with our pantry, but now we've had to expand it from that to one half of our storage closet because we have so much coming in. And so we're so thankful for that partnership. So again, a lot of good things coming up. I just wanted to give you an update. I realize that now that we're here in Warming Center, I'm going to be doing these podcasts each week. Next week is going to be way more informative. And Vito, thank you. He says, great organization. We were connected with them in Madison for 15 years when we were administrators for a food pantry. And he's speaking, of course, about Feed America. And so, yeah, they really are a good organization to be tied in with. And, honestly, we were one of the first programs now for them to launch their online shopping. So each week I get to go online. It's much like an Amazon. You just see what's available, and there's some paid items, and we've used that in the past, but then we've also there's a lot of free items, and we get a lot of that every week. So it really is a good thing, and we are so thankful for our volunteers that have made sure our pantry was stocked in the past. And we still welcome donations, certainly food donations, and because a lot of times people will see individual needs, like, okay, so they have a lot of this, but they really could use spaghetti noodles or whatever the case may be. And so we do welcome that. We're certainly not saying we don't need our volunteers anymore. We do welcome food donations, but as a whole, for the staples, we're stocked, and that's always an exciting thing. In fact, tomorrow, from Feed America, we're getting 12 frozen turkeys. It's it's a really cool thing, and because we have a van now, we can run over there and pick all that up and not have an issue with the van, which has been a real blessing in transporting our homeless folks to where they need to go in the morning. We're going to be using it more now in the colder weather. A lot of them like to just get out and walk, but now that the colder season's here, we'll be using the van more. One other important thing I forgot to mention that we've done. A few weeks ago, the community of Wapaka rallied around our cause to take a trip down to Florida. You know, it's so important for a church, for an organization that does human, let me get the right wording here, humanitarian efforts, to get a global view, to get a world view of what's going on. And so I pioneered a movement to help people down in Florida, and Pick and Save got behind it. They let us put our trailer out there. We teamed up with Radiant Fellowship, and we took a van. Our van was stacked from the very back of the seat, of the driver's seat and passenger seat, all the way to the back door, solid to the roof, full of supplies down to Port Charlotte, Florida. I took my daughter along because she's a 13-year-old girl, and she can talk your ear off. And so I took her along to, number one, just to get a worldview, but number two, to keep me awake on the road, because we drove 3,070 miles in 4 days. And it was a fantastic time. They were so blessed down there. We worked with Operation Blessing, which is a ministry of CBN, the Christian Broadcasting Network, famous for their 700 Club and other things. And we met them down there. We brought supplies down there that some of it overlapped, which they needed to restock on anyways. But some items they didn't even think of, you know, like dog food, cat food, stuff like that. So it was a really cool time. Fantastic ministry. They had showers set up, and they even made us a dinner so that we could get on the road and head back up. We went from Port Charlotte back up to the Jacksonville area, and we gassed up down there. It was a humbling sight to see, because there was a gas station there that we visited because we needed gas, and they just opened that day, and there was a noticeable ring around the entire parameter of the inside of the gas station, and ceiling tiles fell in, everything. The guy was running the cash wrap from his phone because he had Wi-Fi from that. But I asked about the watermark, and he said that's how high the water was in the store after the hurricane, and they just opened up. So again, thank you to everybody in the community that helped make that trip possible. It brought great exposure to, number one, God, but and the community that rallies around people, that loves people no matter who they are. And it brought great exposure to our what we're doing here at Foundations for Living. So and it really, at the end of the day, it makes a person feel good knowing that they can help a center out in Wapaka, but because of their donations, it was delivered firsthand to people in need down in Florida. So yeah, a lot of great things going on. It's always a joy to serve the community. It's always good to remind ourselves of Matthew 25:40, which says, whatever you've done unto the least of these, you've done unto me. And it's fantastic for us to be able to do these things. So again, thank you for tuning in. Next week is going to be very informative with what we have going on here at the center. And truly, we want you to be a part of it. We are not a church. We work with many churches. We're a nonprofit, faith-based organization here in town that exists to make people's lives better. And so we're thankful for that. So again, thanks for tuning in. If you're going to comment and you want to hear more about what we have going on, tune in next week. But if you comment on the rebroadcast of this, we will chime in and answer your questions. And again, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for your prayers, your donations, so that we can make Foundations for Living truly a lighthouse for our community and serve people. So I hope you have a fantastic week, and we will talk to you next time.